You click the buy button. Immediately, price moves against you. Your stomach tightens. Your eyes lock onto the floating loss. Your finger hovers over the close button. You're not thinking about your plan anymore. You're thinking, what if this turns into another loss? And right there, fear takes control. You know this moment. You've lived it more times than you can count. Fear doesn't show up when you open your trading account. It shows up after experience, after losses, after disappointment, after you've been right on analysis but wrong on execution. That's when fear becomes dangerous, because now it sounds logical. You start telling yourself things like, I'll wait for confirmation. Let me reduce risk this time. I'll close early just to be safe. And slowly, trade by trade, fear reshapes how you behave. You don't realize it yet, but you've stopped trading the market. You're trading your emotions. At first, you thought trading was about intelligence, about indicators, about finding the perfect setup. But fear teaches you something brutal. Knowledge alone doesn't save you. Discipline does. You hesitate on clean entries. You jump into late ones. You move your stop loss because you don't want to be wrong. You close winners early because you're afraid of giving profits back. And then you watch price move exactly where you originally planned without you. That pain cuts deeper than a loss. You tell yourself, if only I had trusted it. But the truth is harder. You didn't trust yourself. The great traders understood something you're just beginning to realize. Fear is not caused by losing money. Fear is caused by uncertainty about your own decisions. When you don't fully accept risk, fear fills the gap. You might think fear means you're weak. It doesn't. It means you care. But caring without control is what destroys traders. At some point, you have to face an uncomfortable truth. The market does not reward hope. It does not reward effort. It rewards preparation and emotional stability. When you demand certainty from an uncertain environment, fear becomes inevitable. You enter trades expecting them to work. You imagine profits before price even moves. And the moment the market hesitates, fear screams, protect yourself. That's when mistakes begin. Here's the shift you haven't made yet. You are not here to win every trade. You are here to execute correctly over a series of trades. Once you understand that, fear starts losing power. Think about this. If one losing trade can ruin your confidence, your position size is too big. That's not psychology. That's math and emotion colliding. Fear feeds on oversized risk. When you risk too much, every tick feels personal. Every candle feels threatening. Your brain goes into survival mode, and in survival mode, logic disappears. The traders you study didn't eliminate fear by becoming fearless. They eliminated fear by becoming systematic. They expected losses. They planned for them. They accepted them before entering the trade. You don't do that yet. You hope instead. Hope is not a strategy. The moment you click buy or sell, you must already be okay with losing that money. If you're not, fear will manage the trade for you, and fear is a terrible trader. You felt it before. You exit early, price runs. You hesitate, price leaves without you. You revenge trade, trying to get back what fear took away. And suddenly, one loss turns into 5. That spiral doesn't come from the market. It comes from emotional decision-making. If this is hitting close to home, pause right now and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who trades Forex and struggles with fear. These lessons save accounts. One of the biggest mistakes you're making is watching money instead of behavior. The more you stare at floating profits and losses, the louder fear becomes. Money triggers emotion. Process creates calm. You need rules so clear that emotion has no room to interfere. Where you enter, where you're wrong, where you exit. No exceptions, no improvisation. When your rules are vague, fear takes over. When your rules are strict, fear has nowhere to hide. You also need to stop thinking of trading as a daily obligation. The market doesn't owe you setups. Waiting is part of the job. Patience is a position. The old masters waited for alignment. They didn't chase candles to feel productive. When you force trades, fear multiplies because deep down, you know you're guessing. Another hard truth you must accept if you want to kill fear: the market does not care about you. It doesn't know you exist, and that's freeing. Once you stop taking losses personally, they stop hurting as much. Losses become feedback, not insults. Data, not judgment. Ask yourself this question honestly. If I traded exactly like this for the next 100 trades, would I survive? Not win, survive. That question shifts your mindset from excitement to longevity, from ego to discipline. Fear thrives when you think short-term. Fear dies when you think in probabilities. 1 trade means nothing. 10 trades mean nothing. Your behavior over hundreds of trades is everything. Most traders already know what to do. They just don't do it consistently because fear interrupts execution. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. And you're closer than you think. In the next part, you'll learn how fear disguises itself as intelligence, how the greatest traders trained themselves to stay calm under uncertainty, and the mindset shift that finally removes fear's grip completely. Before you move on, comment below and tell me the one fear that hurts your trading the most. Fear of loss, fear of missing out, or fear of holding winners? I read every comment. Stay here. The most important part is coming. You reach a point where fear stops shouting and starts pretending to be intelligence. It tells you you're being careful. It tells you you're protecting capital. It tells you this setup isn't perfect. And that's when fear becomes most dangerous, because now it sounds reasonable. You start skipping trades that fit your plan. You start waiting for extra confirmation that never comes. You start believing you're being disciplined, when in reality, you're being afraid. This is where many traders get stuck for years. The truth is, the market never gives perfect clarity. The traders who survived long-term understood clarity comes from preparation, not prediction. They trained themselves to act when conditions aligned, not when fear felt quiet. You have to understand this deeply. Fear does not disappear when you wait. Fear disappears when you act correctly in spite of uncertainty. When you hesitate on valid setups, you reinforce fear. When you follow your rules even while uncomfortable, you weaken it. Think about this. Every time you avoid a trade that fits your plan, fear wins. Every time you move a stop loss, fear wins. Every time you close early because you don't want to lose what you have, fear wins. And fear grows stronger the more you obey it. The old market operators learned something brutal through experience. Confidence does not come before action. It comes after repeated correct execution. You don't wait to feel confident to act. You act correctly until confidence follows. That's backwards from how most traders think. You want fear gone before you trade, but fear only fades after you prove to yourself that you can follow your process regardless of outcome. This is why journaling changes traders, not because it's paperwork, but because it forces accountability. You stop lying to yourself. You see patterns. You see that your biggest losses didn't come from bad setups. They came from emotional decisions. You'll notice something uncomfortable when you review your trades honestly. Many losses weren't supposed to be losses. They became losses because fear interfered. And many small wins should have been bigger, but fear cut them short. That realization hurts, but it's necessary. You also need to understand that fear spikes after both losses and wins. After losses, fear tells you to hesitate. After wins, fear tells you not to mess it up. Either way, fear wants control. The solution is the same. Trust the process more than your feelings. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is this. Stop asking, "How do I feel about this trade?" and start asking, "Does this trade meet my rules?" Feelings are irrelevant. Rules are not. Another critical mistake you must stop making is overexposure. Trading every pair, every session, every movement. That constant stimulation exhausts your nervous system. An exhausted trader is a fearful trader. You don't need more trades. You need better ones. When you reduce frequency and increase selectivity, fear weakens, because you're no longer forcing action, you're responding to opportunity. You also need to stop measuring success by daily results. That mindset feeds fear because it creates pressure.
Pressure creates urgency. Urgency destroys patience. Think in weeks. Think in months. Think in series. If you lose today but followed your plan perfectly, you won. If you win today but broke your rules, you lost. That perspective alone will rewire how you experience trading. And here's something you must hear clearly. The market is not a test of courage. It is a test of discipline. You don't need to be brave. You need to be consistent. Fear thrives in chaos. It dies in structure. Once your rules are fixed, your risk is controlled, and your expectations are realistic, fear becomes manageable. It never disappears completely, but it stops controlling you. You'll still feel it, but now you'll recognize it as noise, not a command. At some point, you'll notice something subtle. Your heart won't race as much. Your hands
won't shake. Losses won't feel devastating. Wins won't feel euphoric. You'll feel neutral. That neutrality is power. That's when you stop being reactive and start being professional. And let me tell you something important. The traders who make it are not emotionally numb. They are emotionally trained. They've seen fear enough times that it no longer surprises them. They don't fight fear. They outgrow it. If you stayed this long, it means you're serious about changing how you trade. And seriousness is rare in this industry. So here's your challenge. The next time you enter a trade, accept the loss before it happens. Reduce your size until that loss feels insignificant. Execute your rules without negotiation and walk away. Do that consistently and fear will lose its grip. Before we end, like this video if it gave you clarity. Subscribe for more real trading psychology and share it with someone who keeps blowing accounts because of fear. These lessons save years. And I want you to comment one sentence below. I will trade my plan, not my emotions. Writing it matters. Remember this, the market doesn't reward intelligence, it rewards discipline. It doesn't reward prediction, it rewards preparation. Fear destroys traders who don't understand it. But for those who master themselves, fear becomes irrelevant. That's how you kill fear in trading.